Hello and welcome to Creative Vibes. And today what we're going to go over is the 2x2 rib stitch. But before we go over that, I just wanted to bring up some talking points about the 1x1 and the 2x2, the difference between the two. So with the 1x1 rib stitch, you have that flexibility, you have that stretchiness in it, but the 1x1, as you can see here, is way more compact than what I'll show you with the 2x2. It's still the same process of the knits and purls, so it'll be easy to learn if you've learned the 1x1. So if you haven't, what I'll do is I will attach that video onto this one. So if you want something that's more flat and less bulky, the 1x1 rib stitch is perfect for that. It's great for scarves, hats, sweaters, things of that nature. So that's the 1x1. So casting on for the 1x1, you have a little bit more flexibility in the numbers. In that I mean, you can do what's divisible by 2, which you'll hear me say in the 1x1 video. But if you have a pattern that calls for odd numbers, let's say 49 or 45, then you could use the 1x1. But for the 2x2, the casting on doesn't have that flexibility. You have to do the casting on in even numbers. So if it is an odd number pattern, then the 1x1, you won't be able to use that particular stitch, the 2x2 with that one. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that's not too confusing. So you have to use even number casting on with the 2x2. So I wanted to make sure I brought that point up because that's very important to do this stitch. So you still have that same flexibility, still have that reversibility. So this is going to be easy for you to learn, just like with the 1x1, so you won't get lost because it looks the same on both sides. If you want something that's more bulky, this is the way to go. You could use it for the same things, the hats, scarves, etc. And what you'll see here is you'll see the knits on this side, the pearls right here. So I love this one. Nice, neat, bulky pattern. So what I'll ask you to do is just grab your needle and your preferred yarn, come on back, and we'll learn how to do the 2x2 rib stitch. So I have casted on 20 stitches with the long tail cast on method. As I mentioned earlier, with the 2x2 rib stitch, you have to cast on in even numbers. So just want to make sure we're super clear on that. So I'm a righty, so I'm going to do switch from right to left, and we can begin to do row number 1. This is a 2-row pattern, okay? So first is knit 2, knit 2. So yarn in the back, knit, knit 1, knit 2, and then yarn in the front, we're going to purl 2. Purl, and purl. I'm going to go back to yarn in the back, and we're going to knit 2, yarn in front now, yarn in front to purl 2, purl, purl, yarn in back, knit, knit, yarn in front, purl, purl, back, knit, knit, yarn in front, purl, purl, yarn in back, knit, knit, and you know you're on the right track because your last two, yarn in front, should be purl one, purl two. Okay, put your needle down if you need to. I always put the yarn in the back so I know where I'm at. Straighten yourself out so you can see what you're doing. And row number 2 is going to be just as easy as row number 1 because you're going to knit the knits and purl the purls. So again, I reiterated this in my first video. If you have that eye to know what your knits look like and your purls look like, this is going to be a cinch. So with your yarn to the back, you're going to knit your knits. So you're going to knit, knit, yarn in front. You see your purl bump. You see your purl bump. You're going to purl, purl, yarn in back. You see your V for your knits. You're going to knit and knit, yarn in front. You see your purl bump, so you're going to purl, purl, yarn in back. You see your V. You're going to knit and knit, yarn in front. You see your bump. You're going to purl and purl, yarn in back. You see your V's. You're going to knit, knit, yarn in front, 2 bumps. You're going to purl and purl, yarn in back, 2 V's. You're going to knit and knit, yarn in front. You see your 2 bumps. You're going to purl and purl, and yarn to the back, switch over. That's just my little technique, so I know where I need to start. And that's all to the 2x2 rib stitch. So go up and knit up as long or as far as you need to and cast off. I will be doing a video on casting off soon, so stay tuned. And that's all for today's lesson. Happy knitting, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next tutorial.